everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing WandaVision, Episode 6, all new Halloween Spooktacular, okay? We are in Halloween, you guys. We are going through the decades. We are in the 90s. We saw from the theme song that we are paying homage to 90s TV series, but most importantly, Malcolm in the Middle. I love the theme songs. You know, if you really listen to the theme songs, they've been giving y'all all the tea about what's going to happen in this episode, but I did feel as though they kind of lied to me at the end because they made me feel as though that we were going to get a special guest, and it's probably the guest that we all been waiting for because Monica been talking about this person that's supposed to come and help them, and I'm just like, sis, last week it was a girl, which I was here for, but I'm still here for it as well, but this week it's a man. I said, sis, is it a woman? Is it a man? Like, who is it at this point in time? Because y'all been trying to tease us. It's 2 episodes now, and we got to wait for a whole nother 3rd episode to try to figure out who in the heck this is so everyone can get their little theories together. But can we talk about how these twins are so darn cute? They are super cute in this episode. So it's Halloween, and everyone's trying to go trick-or-treating, and so I love that we see Wanda and Vision in their classic comic book costumes. Even we see Quicksilver in his iconic costume. Pietro is back, but not the Pietro that we know from the MCU, but the Pietro that we know from the X-Men universe, played by Evan Peters, who is absolutely fantastic. I almost wonder, like, did they change who Pietro was because they knew that Evans could, like, knock this out of the park as far as it having the TV concept? But I was totally here for him as they call it, they called him a man child, because it was literally 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I was just confused as to why you were still asleep. Like, you've been asleep this whole time for I don't know how many years since Ultron got your raggedy, you ain't raggedy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you Raggedy Pietro. I apologize. But sir, you've been asleep for a real long time, so I'm really confused as to what has tired you out at this current, you know, moment in your life. But hey, I guess all of us can't be so lucky to sleep in until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I actually love his interactions with the young boys as they're terrorizing everyone in the house. But can we talk about how disrespectful they were when Wanda came down the steps and he was like, "Who are you, Old Red Riding Hood?" I said, sir, how are you trying to make it to 21? Because you making jokes like that, it doesn't seem like you're going to make it, okay? Say it one more time. Say, "Call me old" one more time and see what happened, okay? I'm going to show you what Old Red Riding Hood does, all right? So, sorry. I just feel like this is being mad disrespectful because your mama is a bad mama jamma, and I was just like, why? But, okay, I get it. Sharonda, it's a television sitcom. There has to be jokes. I understand, but it was still disrespectful. But we see that, you know, Wanda and Vision, baby, they talk about some unresolved anger, some unresolved issues. Did you feel that tension? And I'm not talking about no sexual tension. Okay, they might need some sexual healing to, like, help this rift that's going on between them. But as we saw in last week's episode, things got very tense as Vision uncovered, like, well, not fully uncovered, but he has a gist of what is happening to everyone in the town. He knows that everyone is under Wanda's control, that they are experiencing pain and grief, especially the pain and grief that Wanda is going through as well, which has created this whole Westview, you know, Hex universe. But he tells her, like, hey, she was like, "Oh, okay, we can all go trick-or-treating." And he was like, "Well, boo-boo, I got other plans, honey." And she looking like, "You didn't tell me you had any other plans, so what you doing?" And I was like, "Vision, what are you doing?" Like, it's her universe, so I feel like she would know what the heck was going on if you actually had something to do. But she lets it go. But we see later in the episode that she realizes that Vision has lied to her, that he's not doing security. Well, I guess, you know, if we wanted to be technical, he is doing security because he's trying to protect the residents who are under Wanda's spell. It's just not the security that she thought was going to be happening. But I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, like, he gave her that little wet, lame kiss on the cheek, like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, "Be good." I said, "Is she a dog?" But then I felt him. I was like, "No, but for real, Wanda, yeah, like, please be good. It's Halloween. You done brought the raggedy kids back." I mean, I guess she listened to you a little bit, Vision. You said you didn't see no kids, like, when you're on your way to work, so at least she was trying to meet you halfway. But I still don't know what exactly is going on. But then we get to see Raggedy Hayward, okay? This man is trash. Like, the trash of all trash, like, that's who Hayward is. So he was getting on my nerves, and he's basically trying to take Wanda out. So he sees Wanda as his threat. She's a terrorist. She's trying to kill us. He clearly has like a vendetta against all superheroes. I don't know if we'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe something happened to his family. I don't know, child, what happened, okay? Maybe the blip turned his life upside down. His whole family disappeared, and then he moved on and found him a new boo, and then it just caused all these issues. I don't know, but it feels like there is some like personal issues that are happening with Hayward as to why he has all this hate towards the superheroes who continuously, time after time again, be saving humanity's raggedy behind. So we see that, you know, basically him and Monica start going back and forth, and here is the issue that I had with Hayward in this episode. Let me tell you something that you don't do, okay? Because first of all, he brought up Carol, and you know from last week's episode that there's some sore feelings between Monica and Carol. We don't know what the hell happened. We don't know if she's the cause of her mother dying or what's happening throughout the course of this TV series. But you know when the name Carol comes up, you know, Wanda, Monica is not having it. But let me tell you the part where that got me. So Monica ends up calling Hayward a coward, and she was just like, you know, Wanda has to be a part of the solution because like she's good, she can be saved. It's clear the girl is going through some things, but she ain't trying to hurt nobody, especially she could have killed you last episode and she didn't do that. But then when he said, let me tell you where he messed up, okay? When he said, I'm happy that your mother wasn't alive to see you right now because it's clear that you don't have the stomach for this. Let me tell you, when he said that, I was like, hold up. Let me take my earrings off. Do something. Square up, okay? Because let me tell you something that we don't do. This is what we don't do. When you in an argument, we don't bring up mamas and we don't bring up children, okay? We don't bring mamas, children. Two things off limits. Now, your daddy, I mean, you could have had a raggedy daddy. I mean, hell, you could have had a raggedy mama. We don't talk about mamas. We don't talk about kids. We don't bring that up, okay? And so the fact that you're sitting up here talking about my mother that you know literally died while I was in the blip, okay? And didn't get to see my mother before she passed away, and you gonna bring her up like that? I was like, no, I was ready to fight. I said square up, Hayward, because you have gone too far. Then he ends up banishing them like, you know, you're off the case, which is clearly what he wanted from the get-go. So we see that. So then we go back to the kids, okay, the pretty little kids, okay? So we got Wicked and Speed, which I was like, okay, Young Avengers, give us a nod. Go ahead and give my friends a TV show. Because when I say they were selling this entire episode, I think that the actors that they have playing the kids are just so amazing. I thought they were so cute in their costumes. And then we get to see their powers manifest. We get to see Speed's powers manifest first, but then we get to see Wiccan's powers manifest towards the end of the episode, which was so cool because he was just trying to save his daddy using his telekinesis. And also, too, he can create force fields. He was using his telekinesis to hear what was happening to his father, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But did y'all peep that Kick-Ass reference when he was talking to kids? He was like, Kick-Ass. I was like, oh my goodness, look at y'all still paying homage to Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was in Kick-Ass, a good movie. If you guys haven't watched Kick-Ass, go watch Kick-Ass. It's really good. It's a great time. But I love how they pay homage to Aaron at the same time. It's like, Aaron, I know you're not here, but you're still here with us in spirit. And so, yeah, I just love the Kick-Ass reference. Also, too, wait, was Evan in Kick-Ass? No, Evan wasn't in Kick-Ass, but I think him and Aaron did do a project together. I can't remember. Charges to my heart, charges to my mind, not to my heart. So Wanda's trying to figure out why Pietro looks different. She's like asking him all these questions from their childhood throughout the course of the episode. And he was like, I don't know what you're doing. You're trying to test me. And so she's not sure that that's actually Pietro. And we're not sure either. A lot of people think that Pietro is someone else impersonating to try to figure out what is happening with Wanda. I'm not quite sure. And I don't know if maybe that has something to do with this secret plan that Darcy found in the computer system after they broke into the firewalls. I'm not quite sure, but you know, the kids, they're wreaking havoc with their uncle. They stealing everybody candy, smashing the jack-o'-lanterns, putting silly string on everyone. And I was like, you know what, I probably would have stole everybody's candy too. You could have left them a little bit so when nobody suspects you. But I guess when you're living in your own alternate reality, you can do whatever the heck you want to do in the first place. So I was here for it. But we see that she catches Vision in this lie. And then we cut to commercial. Let me tell y'all, this commercial was so good that I was watching the show. But then I was like, dang, like, why a commercial gotta come? And then I realized, like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. This wasn't real TV. This is the commercial in the episode. And I was just like, well, I'll be damned. I literally sat up here thinking, like, I really thought I was watching a TV show and that this was just a regular commercial. And it definitely took you back to the 90s, like the little claymation. It almost made me miss Celebrity Deathmatch. If you guys never watched Celebrity Deathmatch, I love that show. It used to come on MTV. That's totally besides the point. It has nothing to do with this. Well, it kind of did because of claymation. But we see in the thing, when it was like Nacho Magic, so like were they talking about Wanda having everyone under her power and like, you know, I don't know, because then the kids thing, the kid reference, the kid couldn't open up the yogurt, the Nacho Magic yogurt, and then died. And so I don't know if this is like a reference to, you know, what happened to the kids, what did Wanda do to the kids, what were all of the children doing up to this point. Pietro asked it, and I was just like, yeah, like, were you torturing the kids? Or like, how did you just make a whole town of kids just disappear and come back for Halloween? I was highly confused about that. But let me know your theories about the commercial because I was a little bit unsure about it. But yeah, so Pietro said that, you know, she's having this conversation with him. He says he was shot in the street. He was lying dead. And then, you know, I heard your voice and I knew that you needed me. So I just came, you know, running. And so she still is not sure how to feel about Pietro. She's still not sure she can trust him, why he looks so different to her. Like, I don't know if she's losing all sense of her reality as well. I thought it was so cute when he told the trick-or-treating story at the beginning of the episode too, when they gave them the fish. It was so 90s. I just think that they do such a fantastic job of really thrusting you back into like this television sitcom era. It just makes, I want to watch more television sitcoms after this, but I really miss the old school sitcoms that I grew up on. But we end up seeing that the kids asked to go do some more trick-or-treating or whatnot, and she says just make sure you don't go past Ellis Avenue. And so we see that we cut to Darcy and them. They're basically, Darcy realizes that that Hayward is tracking Vision. And so we don't know why he's tracking Vision or what he's necessarily trying to do. Maybe he's just trying to get the property back so then they can destroy everything and everyone inside of the hex. That sounds like some stuff that Raggedy Hayward would do, that he would feel as though there has to be casualties. We're having a small amount of casualties instead, besides Wanda taking over the whole world. It's some crazy concept that he would probably come up with on his own. But we see that when they're having a conversation, Darcy ends up telling Monica that she can't go back through the hex. So she's been able to read the blood work that Hayward had. And essentially, Monica's cells have changed drastically from her being in the hex 2 times. So we know this is going to transition her into being Captain Marvel. I don't know how they're going to do it, but she was like, hey, if I can save people, if I can save Wanda, I'm going to go back through the hex again. So I don't know if she already had the energy, if everyone who comes out of that will have some type of cell mutation. I'm not sure, because it's interesting. I mean, I wonder what the effects will be on all of the people who were inside, you know, or is it just different because that's a part of who Monica was prior to? I'm not absolutely sure, but I'll be interested to hear everyone's thoughts about it in the comment section below. But so Darcy stays because she's trying to get through this last firewall to figure out what Raggedy Hayward's plan is. But we see that Vision ends up going to this part of town that's a little bit on the outskirts of town. He sees this woman like really doing the same thing more than once. It's like people are out of their loop. Like, it seems as though Wanda's control can only go so far. While she has this force field around the entire town, it's a lot on her to try to control everyone. So she really only controls those who are in close vicinity to her. And so as he gets to the street, he sees that people are frozen. This is probably why she told the kids you can't go past Ellis Street, because that's right before that force field ends. And so it was really scary to watch Vision, who ends up flying up, and then he sees Agnes's car. He talks to Agnes. Agnes is in like this weird loopy state. And so essentially he zaps her to bring her back to her consciousness. And then she ends up saying like, oh my gosh, you're Vision. You're one of the Avengers. Like, are you here to save us? And he was like, who is that? And she was like, you. And he was like, what's an Avenger? And she was like, you don't know? And then she was like, you're dead. And he was like, what? She was like, dead. I said, sis, okay, sis, I get it. He dead. You ain't got to say it like that to him. You probably gonna scare him. And so we see that he zaps her back because she's getting out of control, and then she turns back around, and so he realizes that these people can't go past a certain point, but he finds the end of the force field. He tries to go through, and then he starts dying all over again, and I couldn't take it. And then Wicked heard it because he has telekinetic powers, so he could hear his dad. He could hear everything was happening. Then I'm looking at that raggedy ass Hayward sitting up there not doing nothing. Darcy looking shook. She started running out. I said, sis, now I know you're trying to say Vision, but sis, you know you're not supposed to be there, so why didn't you run out in the first place? They handcuff her to a chair, to the car, Then Vision's like, help us. And then Hayward looking at him like that. And I'm looking like, you not going to help him? And so Darcy looking like, somebody help him. Thank you, Darcy. But you still shouldn't have ran out. So then Vision ends up dying. He tells his mama like, hey, mama, daddy in trouble. And then when PHO said, hey, your husband can't die twice, I said, sir, read the freaking room. Read the whole room. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that to her? So when she zapped your ass, you totally deserved it. You had everything coming for you. I said, now I was going to go to hell because I did laugh when he said that. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm going to keep it real. I laughed, but I'm going to hell and I'm not seeing heaven for laughing at that. No, actually, Hayward ain't seeing heaven because he just trash. But essentially, he ends up getting zapped, and so, she ends up pushing out the force field even further to try to save Vision, and just all hell breaks loose. So she turns the sword, like, little base into a circus. Everybody trying to get away. Of course, Raggedy Hayward gets away, but no one else does. But then they left Darcy. They left her handcuffed to the car. I would say, y'all are not seeing heaven for this. So Darcy ends up getting thrown into the force field. All the sword officers turn into clowns. So I don't know what the heck is going to happen. But I know that what I was scared about and what I wasn't ready for, and I feel like y'all need to give me warnings, is when Wanda was talking to Pietro before she zapped him, and she saw the dead corpse of him with the bullet holes. That was a bit much, y'all. Just warn me. Hey, sis. You might want to look away for a quick second. We didn't tell you about Vision, and you know how that turned out for all of us. Just let us know next time when you're going to show like a dead corpse, because I just wasn't ready for it. But I thought it was really cool when Wiccan started manifesting his powers because his dad was in danger and that he was able to alert his mom and tell her everything that was happening. So I thought that was like super cute. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I know what better happen next week is we know who the hell Monica talking about. Okay, let us know who she's talking about, and it better not change again from what she said last week to this week to the next week. But overall, for me, I love this episode. I love the 90s feel. I thought Evan Peters was so fantastic. Paul Bettany, though, in that scene where he's literally dying before our eyes all over again, but as he's literally using his last amount of life to help the people in the town, I just thought that was so cool. And they're just so fantastic acting. Paul Bettany just continues to show up and show out. Elizabeth Olsen's great as well. I really love Evan Peters. I really thought that he was the standout for this episode. It's such a great choice for the PHO, even though it might have other implications as to where we are going in the MCU. But I thought he was absolutely fantastic. The kids were great as well. I'm really excited to see what happens next. I do think that this is not as big of an episode as it was from last week, but I think that this is leading us up for some amazing final 3 episodes. I can't believe there's 3 episodes left. But yeah, like, I just need to know who the hell Monica's been talking about. I need Hayward to get his raggedy behind kicked because he's disrespectful, okay? He's very disrespectful. But those are my thoughts on WandaVision episode 6. All new Halloween spooktacular. As always, my name is Sharona from Payroll Ways, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again.